Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chase, and today we will continue to master the meta with a strategy that has been a staple in the meta for ages, the Sui Lalo. So let's get right into it. Balloons and Lava Hounds have been a devastating combo since the Hound was introduced back in 2014. This strategy can be used in many different ways at Town Halls 9 and up. Players have been tinkering around with the setup of the Lalo for years, pairing it with Sui heroes, lightning spells, queen charges, and most recently the Blizzard. Before the Hounds, balloons were vulnerable due to their extremely slow speed and low hit points, but the Hounds provided them with a much needed air tank to save them from dying as they slowly moved in to take out defenses with their high damage output. Plus, with the Hounds only targeting air defenses, they can get deep into the base, distracting all the defenses around it. This strategy can be adapted for almost any base, so let's check out what people like to use. The army really depends on personal preference. Now, Queen Charge Lalo is very different from the Sui Lalo, so we're not going to cover it. For this video, I'm only focusing on the Zap, the Blizzard, and the Sui Lalo. For me personally, I always bring 2 to 3 Hounds and 26 to 29 balloons for these types. When starting off, I'd recommend bringing a bit more balloons, like 30 to 32, as you'll have enough to where you can play around with the number you drop per defense, and it's not detrimental if you make some mistakes. For the Sui portion, if you're planning on running into high damage, some tanking may be necessary to help out. I personally prefer Ice Golems for their freeze ability, because it helps a ton when dealing with headhunters and super minions in the clan castle. The freeze effect from the Ice Golem paired with a poison is usually enough to take them out before they damage your heroes too much. Wall breakers can also be crucial for getting high damage buildings that are deep in the base. And if you're planning to go into the base, make sure to bring funnel troops like a wizard or a baby dragon. For Legends League, I usually bring 1 Ice Golem, 1 baby dragon, and 1 super wall breaker as setup for my Sui. Haste spells are a necessity as the loons are very slow, but have enough damage output to where you don't need rages. Rages are usually only used in Sui Lalo when raging up the skeleton spells to take out enemy heroes as the balloons pass over, or to kill the town hall quickly. But in most cases, hastes are your best friend. Freezes combo very well with the haste, as you can speed the balloons into defenses like multis and scatters that are frozen, and they'll be able to be taken out before they can damage the balloons. To set up your Sui, you can opt for damaging spells like the Zap Quake to eliminate tightly packed defenses that the Lalo may have trouble getting to, like a centralized splash damage building, or you can use a Super Wizard Blimp, aka the Blizzard, to gut out an entire portion of the base. You can check out my lightning video if you want to learn more about what you can hit and its range, but as a note, you can no longer kill the clan castle like it shows in the video, and also scatters and expos take 6 zaps and 1 quake post-update. For the Blizzard, I like to bring a rage and 4 invisibility spells, but 3 can also be enough. You can also check out my Blizzard video where I explain what to look out for when planning a Blizzard attack. And another note, the Super Wizards will now do 40% chain damage, but that won't affect the value that they can directly target. Now enough with the shameless plugs, it's time to get into the strategy. When looking at a base you're about to hit, you have to ask yourself 2 questions. What value can I get with my opener? And what does that do for my pathing? Now, your opener can be the Zap, the Blizzard, or just the Sui heroes, but identifying what your opener is able to get is crucial for becoming a good Lalo player. With the Zap and Blizzard openers, you want these to target areas with a high concentration of defenses that can kill multiple balloons very quickly, or areas that would be difficult for your loons to path to. Look for the enemy queen and RC, the town hall for 12s and 13s, the eagle, scatter shots, multi-infernos, sweepers, air expos, and, for the Blizzard only, the clan castle. You also want to aim for at least 1 air defense, which we'll talk about in a bit. As you use this more, you can get very creative with the blimp drops and the zaps, but if you're just beginning, I'd stick to the basics to get the feel for it. Then you can ask yourself the second question: how does the opener and the Sui affect the pathing? After you map out the opener, survey the base to see what buildings are left vulnerable to your Sui heroes. That will also help create the capital or lowercase L shape in the base if they're down. You'll have to get used to just seeing where the defenses are for the shape of the base, and also where the air defenses are located. The air defenses are meant to be used as anchors for your hounds, and they should be somewhat evenly spread out in what's left of the base. The hounds need to tank for the loons, so if you have a stray air defense away from all other defenses, your hound is basically wasted. In an ideal Lalo, the loons should be following the hounds around the base, almost like the hounds are guiding the balloons through the remaining defenses. Back to the Sui, my general rule of thumb, and this can be subject to change as you get better with practice, is that by the time the Sui is done, you should have taken out at least one of the Town Hall or Eagle, one of the Queen or RC, one Scattershot, the Clan Castle, and at least one air defense. The Clan Castle is not too important, but if headhunters come out while your Lalo is going, your Warden is in for a world of pain, unless you have a zap and a poison to deal with them. It sounds like a lot, but once you get used to it, trust me, you'll be getting way more value than that. After all that setup, you're finally ready to start your Lalo. If you have successfully molded the base into the L shape, then you'll need to pick which side to start on. You need to take into account the locations of the air defenses, major splash defenses, the enemy heroes, and the sweepers. First up, the air defenses. Like mentioned before, you want your hounds tanking the loons as they slowly move into the base. Since hounds are so much faster than the loons, they will shoot across the base if you send them in far from an air defense, doing almost no tanking. You want to send them in on an air defense on one end of the L shape with the balloons behind. That way all the initial defenses are tanked, and the loons can safely take them out before the hound dies. Then as the air defense goes down and the hound moves on to the next one, you can haste the balloons so they catch up to the hound and keep getting tanked for. Next up, looking at major defenses, the earlier you can take them out, the better. More than likely your hounds will die out before reaching the end of the base, and if there's a major defense left up, it could wipe out your balloons in a heartbeat. See if you can take on any scatters, multi-infernos, the Eagle, or the Town Hall as soon as possible with your Lalo, if they're still up in the base. For the enemy Queen and RC, you'll need to deal with them using either a skeleton spell or the headhunters, since the balloons won't target them. Headhunters are the safest way, as long as you pop your Warden ability over them. Just make sure the enemy King isn't in the way, or he'll block your headhunters from getting to the Queen or Champ. Then lastly, you'll want to look for the sweepers. Typically, I try to get one sweeper down with my Sui, or I Sui the portion of the base that the sweeper is guarding, so that my balloons don't have to deal with it. The sweeper is basically just an irritation rather than a detriment. You can Lalo into a sweeper as long as there's not too much damage and you use a haste to get the balloons past it. Now that you know where to start, it's time to get into the fundamentals of deploying a Lalo. It is crucial that you send in the hound before the balloons if the Eagle is left up. The Eagle artillery targets the highest concentration of HP, so when your lava hounds group up on an air defense, the Eagle will target them first, saving your balloons from even more damage. The best deployment of balloons is to send them in as groups to directly target individual defenses, because it makes it easier to predict where they're going, allowing for your spells to have more value. Since balloons do high amounts of damage per shot, but take a while for their next shot, it's beneficial to send enough balloons to take out a defense in one swoop, so they don't stall up. This is why I highly recommend beginners bring more than 30 balloons, so that you can just practice dropping them in groups and not have to worry about how many per defense. To be honest, I don't even count them when I attack. I usually start with a hound to tank as many defenses at the top of the L shape, and send in as many groups of loons as there are defenses in the first layer. Then I send in the next hound coming in on the side, followed by groups of loons to target the defenses on the side. This is how you funnel your balloons to keep the main pack grouped up. As the main group makes its way through the base, keep sending in small packs of balloons to directly target outer defenses, and that way your main group will stay inside the base so they can deal with the major defenses. After making it through the first air defense, I like to have about 10 to 12 loons pocketed so I can use them on outer defenses. This can be used to control your main pack. If you want them in the core, hold on to a hound and a bunch of loons and send them on the elbow of the L shape, and as they take out the defenses there, your main pack will have nowhere to go but to the middle. Also, you need to get into a rhythm of placing a hound, a few packs of balloons on defenses, and then a couple of minions right behind, and repeat. Getting the cleanup minions down early is a huge time saver if you can get into that habit. It takes a lot of practice to get this deployment right, but once you do, you're going to feel like an absolute clash god. Your spells are super important to keep up the flow of the Lalo. Spells can be used in all sorts of situations, depending on how the Lalo is faring against the base. Hastes can be used to speed up balloons so they stay with the hounds, and their tanking doesn't go to waste, and to speed into splash defenses so they don't do as much damage to your group of balloons. You can also use them on smaller packs of balloons to help direct your Lalo to a new target. Sometimes I see my main pack of balloons making their way towards the outside, and I quickly haste in a few pocketed balloons to kill the defenses, which redirects the main troops back on track. Freezes are helpful for splash defenses and should be used after the hounds are done tanking, or when facing a multi-inferno or the town hall. Speaking of the town hall, if you're ending on it, you should always have at least 2 freeze spells to keep your balloons safe, preferably more. It will be active before your Lalo gets there, and freezes help to mitigate the damage. That will also allow you to hold on to your Warden ability for the Town Hall. The Gigablast leaves balloons extremely low when under the Warden aura, which is why it's necessary to tome over it and make them invincible. If you've taken care of the Town Hall with the Opener or the Sui, then you can use your Warden anywhere on the base. I prefer to use it through scatters and eagle shots, and I time it as my headhunters go in for enemy heroes, and as my loons start to group up, hitting as many as possible. Where you place your Warden is also important, so he can have maximum value with his aura. Putting him in the middle of your initial groups of loons rather than just with the first one you drop allows him to cover more balloons since his aura can reach a wide area. Also be cautious when placing him if your other heroes are still up, as they can each count for 25 spaces for your Warden's support mode, and if they get in range, he could stay back and follow them. Just need to make sure you have more than 10 balloons in your main pack. It's also very important to hold on to some of your cleanup troops to sprinkle in as your Lalo moves its way around the base, and to pick off any buildings you may have missed. You don't want that troll builder hut costing you the 3-star. Now this may help clear up anything that might have been confusing. We're going to cover a replay of one of my attacks in Legend League to reinforce the tips learned in this video. I'm currently using the Blizzard Lalo, and I see a lot of value around the Town Hall. I can get all the heroes, the Clan Castle, and the Wizard Towers with the Town Hall, using a short blimp drop. Now I'm looking around for a place to drop my Sui portion, and notice how all 4 air defenses are up, which would make for some pretty awkward pathing, so I gotta take one of them out. With this Sui, I want to get the scatter shot at 9, and then the multi-inferno next to it. Then I can use my RC to target the core inferno and the sweepers, because it would be pretty hard for the loons to get there with the gap around them. Right now I need to funnel my heroes into the base so the baby dragon clears the trash on the side so my heroes can step in. I sent in a wall breaker to get my heroes into this inferno compartment, and now they can actually reach the core as well. Now, I should have popped the RC ability here to kill the defenses past the Inferno and force her into the core, but I was late, and now I run into the problem where my heroes completely ignored the middle compartment because those Expos pulled my queen down. So now I need to adapt and get my balloons to target the core. You'll notice for my Lalo I dropped the Hound, then Loons, then Minions for cleanup. Second Hound goes in, followed by groups of balloons targeting every defense on the side, and my Warden goes down in the middle of the packs covering a whole bunch of balloons. Since I need loons in the core now, I have to take out the 3 o'clock corner, so I send in a few to take out those defenses there. I have to face a sweeper, so all I do is haste the main pack, and then I can freeze it, and they deal with the eagle pretty nicely. You can also see I haste the 3 o'clock side because I needed those buildings down to force my Lalo to the center. And I tomed in the core because defenders usually stack red air mines there, so my loons are now safe. I kept all the loons alive thanks to my hounds tanking and good freeze spells, and now the base is absolutely crushed. Overall, this attack takes a lot of practice, patience, and experience to pull off, but once mastered, you can demolish almost any base. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this guide, you should definitely subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Now go wreck some bases.